We're going to go live on YouTube tonight and Facebook. We are going to update Aurora. We are going to do a few different things tonight. So welcome. I'm just going to leave my picture up here for a moment while I get everything else set up. There's one of my pictures of the Aurora tonight. Let's see here. I'm going to share this live stream in the chat. So let me do that a moment, and a few other places. So I will just get this quick set up, and looking forward to talk about what happened tonight, what might happen tonight, and a little bit about the weather. So we're going to do it all here and see if we can catch up on things since it's been a couple of nights. Okay, Randy Small, Whatcom County weather. We are live here on YouTube and Facebook, I think. And hopefully this will work out just fine as we go through. I guess somebody can let me know if you hear me fine. Let me get the microphone a little closer. But this is what we had earlier this evening. We had this Aurora show up. It's actually still going. It's just we are socked in with clouds. I just did a few test shots, and things are, pretty well socked in. So I wish I had better news. A lot of other people are seeing it tonight around the world, or, well, around the world, but around our country. From California to Florida to Texas. I believe I saw something from Texas, Arizona, Alaska, of course, Georgia, Nebraska, South Dakota. These are just places I've seen, and it's quite a night, except the clouds sadly is causing us some issues. So hopefully you can hear me okay. Maybe somebody can let me know if they can hear me fine, either on Facebook or YouTube or both. Just making sure that this is all working well. And before I get into this, here, let me just show you another picture tonight that I took of the Aurora there. This was kind of looking south east. Well, in fact, you can kind of see a little bit of the mountains back over here, in Sumas Mountain here. But I again just took some more pics, and this is all socked in. But earlier, about 5:45 to 6 o'clock, there was the clouds. You can see the stars up here, but the clouds were parted, so enough to be able to see the color through this. So this a pretty amazing night for sure. And especially where it hasn't been so cloudy. And I know a lot of you some of you were able to get some pictures tonight, so that was good. And okay, loud and clear, excellent. So yeah, it's just a really good opportunity, but yet it just couldn't hold on to this because of the clouds. And this probably is rivaling the 2024 storm. Let me show you some pictures around the country tonight that I have seen. I'm going to pull up my Twitter here that I follow, but this is in Mexico, looks like. But this is somebody in Minnesota that I follow. This is in Bremerton. This is Wyoming tonight. This is up in Alaska. Vincent Ledvina is a really good follow. He knows what he's talking about. Let's see, Cheney, Washington, and I mean, it just goes on and on. Oh, my picture. Let's see, I think this is northeast of Montreal, and here's up in Alaska. I mean, it's just, here is Ohio River in Paducah, Kentucky, Minnesota, more in Minnesota. I mean, we could just go on all night looking at these pictures. And then over on the Aurora site, Aurora Borealis of the Washington, lots and lots of pictures. Again, clouds, a lot of cloud battling. This was 5:30 to 6:30 here at the Tri-Cities. So let's see, where this is Spokane. Not sure the time on this one. Probably earlier tonight. So you can see what happened earlier, but we Sadly, I'm going to pull up Skunk Bay here, and hopefully you can see this okay. But let's check a look at Skunk Bay. Will give us an idea if there's anything still showing, and it's pretty well. Okay, so he's in Hansville, which is kind of north of Poulsbo, or the Poulsbo area, and there is that green right here, but his clouds are filled in. But there is some definite openings down here. And if you want to know where Hansville is, let me pull that up on the map. But it's kind of on the north end of, I don't know, north end of Poulsbo, Kingston. North of Kingston, Hansville, and his camera's looking toward Whidbey Island, kind of over here. And so there is some Aurora looking north here, still on his cam. If you have breaks in the clouds, you know, you might be able to get a chance at it. And if we look over at the weather page tonight, let me see here. Let me see if I can find the pictures that some of you shared tonight. Really appreciate it. Okay, so here's some that were shared. These are just gorgeous pictures. Linden, I'm not sure where that is, but that must have been right at the beginning. Yeah, Squim. Yeah, just looking at all these pictures. This is great. What an amazing opportunity for, look at this. Marietta, earlier Silver Beach, Linden, Sudden Valley. This must have been the earlier time period. Look at this. I'm not sure the location of that. Yeah, wow, look at that. Good job, Elizabeth Trail. Glenhaven. So yeah, on and on. Great night. And again, if there was any cloud breaks, it's possible you could see it still tonight. And I'm eating my snack here, so what a night. What a night for so many. So let me talk about the weather here and kind of give a synopsis of where we're headed. And honestly, I failed to get this ready. I was so excited to do this live. Let's take a look at the temperatures tonight here as we just kind of jump into observations. We've got mostly 40s here, mid 40s. I don't think I see anybody in the 30s, at least in the lowlands. So just about everybody in the 40s. Very light wind, a little bit of northeast flow here in Ferndale. Otherwise, very light. The red is the wind gust. Obviously, the temperatures are in the black color. Up at Mount Baker, it's 41. At Heather Meadows, or 45. Let's see. Yeah, 45 and 41 at Pandome with a little bit of a south flow. So really, with the clouds coming in, not a very cold night. It doesn't look like. Let's just check the radar here. I didn't pull that up, but I will real quick. Let's see if there's any showers that are trying to make their presence known. Oh, maybe a little bit out there. Air might be a little dry before this is able to hit the ground. So let me check the dew points here. Well, the air is mostly saturated for the, yeah. So maybe a little bit of precip here as we head into the late night hours. Let's check the weather model graphics here. Oh, I was going to look at the climate graphs here. Let's check. We have 62 twice in the month of November so far at Bellingham International Airport. That's pretty warm for November. Looks like yesterday we had 57, so that's still 5 degrees above average. So we are running 5 degrees, over 5 degrees on high temps and exactly 3 degrees on low temps. I'm not sure what the low temp at Bellingham Airport was today. 36, so that is about 3 degrees cooler than normal. Rain, we're over 3 inches now, and I believe, let me double check the normal here. Just a second here. I keep forgetting what the November. It's 5.20 is the normal precip for a November. And so we are at 3 inches. So we are over halfway, if I did my calculation right. So yeah, 3 inches, and it's, what did I just say? 4.8? Or is it 5.8? 5.2? Anyway, for some reason I can't remember the number, but we're over halfway. I think it's 5.2. So, yeah, it appears like we could get to average here. We'll see. let's check the forecast, and I will answer your questions here in just a little bit. Let's look at the GFS tonight. And we've been doing this just about every live. Let's put it into motion here, and you can see that upper level low. We talked about a potential of a little bit of windstorm. Was that Sunday night? And you'll see how that's changed since then. Here's the cold air coming out of the east over here. Oops, right there. Here's our ridge making it a nice day today. We're putting it into motion towards Wednesday, and you kind of see that splitting. Most of the upper level low is down here, the big part of it right here, the strongest part, and then kind of a split here, a little bit left up here. That's going to leave this trough for us, and this is going into California, and whatever wind we might have gotten, this thing had split off and went our way, is not doing that anymore. And so by Friday, we got a ridge setting up, potentially, at least on this run, potentially for not a bad weekend here. We'll see. And then California is getting up snow. And then as we go into Sunday, we've got this elongated trough, upper level low, whatever you want to call this thing. And really elongated here. And it swings, the whole thing swings in next week, at least on this run. That'll keep us on the cool and precipitation side. Not seeing any real big signs of cold air at all on this run for sure. We're a little bit early for that. So that's far enough. Let's take a look at the euro for, well, it looks like the euro has run tonight. Hey, we're late enough to be able to look at the whole euro. So let's do that real quick. Let's put it into motion. Here's that big upper level low. Okay, so there's the split right there. See that split? I'm going back and forth. The main biggest, I don't know, what you would call this energy. The largest part of the energy is kind of down here, further south. But you see that split off right there, kind of heads toward the southwest Oregon coast, right there, that low. And that could bring some wind stuff down into this Oregon, California area. And then it kind of disappears. Here you see the this funny looking ridge. Maybe that will block some of our systems for the weekend. This is almost a Saturday. This is spinning over here, probably bringing some fun stuff to California. And then you see this trough later on Saturday night right here, kind of swinging into us into Sunday. That could be some cold air with potential amount of snow. We'll have to take a look at that. This is just the Euro run tonight and into Monday. And yeah, more active weather potentially next week on this run. So, and then you see this, see how this, look at this. I'm going to bring this back. See this one's here. Watch this one up here. See how this swings right through us on Monday? Now watch this. This one disappears, but watch where this goes. This goes right through, the four corner, well, not quite the four corners, but Wyoming, Utah, and Colorado, right there. And then look at this thing sweeps all the way. This is the one that originated way out here. It just keeps going through. Look at this, and that's pretty good, deep trough. And that swings all the way across the U.S., all the way up the eastern seaboard. Look at this, all the way up the northeast. That's still going, way up here. Ha ha. I'm pulling it back. It's way up here in Alaska. I'm bringing it down. Right here, hits us. And then goes all the way up here. That is crazy. And then it finally disappears into who knows where. So, I just find that fun. Let's take a look at precip here real quick on the GFS, which is a low res. Here's kind of some shower activity into Wednesday. On the GFS, not a huge amount. Into Thursday, a little bit more precip. Thursday looks like a little more rain. You can see California. In fact, let me just pull this southwest up. You'll probably be able to see this precipitation, California. At least that's a good thing. This is a good thing for California. Look at this. Way down here on this. Actually, I pulled up the wrong run. Hold on. This is the one I wanted. Right here. This is the GFS. But look at this precip coming. Look at that. Theirs is more centered up here, but then it comes and hits southern. This is going to be good for any whatever fires might be left. I'm not sure there are much, but that's just out till Saturday. And so look at this. And then let me go back to the northwest. I'm off onto California. Okay, let me pull up the GFS here. Looks like we got some... We got some rain, yeah, kind of showery into rain on Thursday. More later Thursday afternoon on this run, more in the mountains, not a lot here in Oregon. That's where it's split. Remember I talked about it splitting. Now you can kind of see how in the middle is not catching it much on this GFS run, the American tonight. And then, well, it does show some precip early Saturday on this run. So that ridge definitely was not strong enough to keep that trough away. I mentioned earlier. Okay, let's look at the Euro. Let's get off of California. Let's take a look here. We got those showers in overnight. More rain Thursday. Okay, Friday might not, on this run, not a bad day. Saturday, well, Saturday is showing a little bit of rain into Sunday. So yeah, I guess when you go back to this on the Euro and where I was talking about maybe a nice Saturday, Sunday, this ridge is just not strong enough and it's still letting a system in, and then you can kind of see this one swing in, and that's what's bringing more precipitation on Sunday on this run. So I'll summarize this in just a minute. Let's take a look at some snow up in the mountains mainly. Okay, we're fast forwarding. We're into Friday. Let's see if there's some snow this weekend. Saturday. Yeah, here it comes. Sunday, Monday. A little bit. Not as much as the run the other night. And then we go off into next week. That's too far out. I hope this verifies. That would be great. But we'll see. Definitely less snow this run than we looked at this the other night. Yeah, definitely less. I can see Stevens Pass perhaps getting some. See that right here in this area. But looks like the weekend is pretty much mostly in the clear for these down here. Mount Baker might see a little bit. But the passes look pretty good overall. Yep, they're pretty well clear. I mean, maybe Sunday, Stevens Pass might have a little. Snoqualmie's looking until overnight, might have a little. So passes look pretty good. The main passes to our south. I'm not talking about Highway 20 either here. I'm talking about Highway 2 and I-90. Baker might see some. So let's check wind. Actually, I'm going to check the HER for precip real quick and just see what precip they're advertising. There's our shower activity into Wednesday, into Thursday. And this is as far out as it goes. So it's definitely advertising some precip Wednesday into Thursday. Let me check the NAM real quick. Just see what the precipitation. There are more rain on the NAM. Okay. More precip than what the HER is. Okay. Well, it gives me an idea. Let's check wind. And I'm sorry, I didn't have this up ready. But hopefully I'm not rambling and not boring you all tonight. I'm just getting a handle of what we're going to be looking at for wind here. So let's just loop the latest here. Okay, here we go. Here's tonight. Nothing much for... Let me try not wind speeds. Let me try wind gusts. Sorry. Let's try this one. Okay. Not seeing a whole lot, though, for tonight. And it's, as we just saw in the observation, it's not very much out there at all. A little bit... I do not like this new looper. A little bit of northeast wind maybe tomorrow, light, nothing too crazy. Let's go into Thursday. Okay, we got a little bit of southerlies here along the water, perhaps. Definitely not advertising as much as it was the other night with that system going more south of us. Just a little bit of northwesterlies coming down the strait. Not seeing a whole lot when it comes to wind that's jumping out at me. And as we go into the weekend, or Saturday morning, a little bit of wind maybe Saturday morning, but more by the water. Not seeing much for wind. Okay? And at least that stands out that we need to talk about. Precipitation. Let me just look at the loop on this one. They just changed this, so it's a little bit hard here. I'm still learning it. Okay, so there's precipitation through Thursday afternoon. Pushing towards an inch here on the UW tonight. Much more in the mountains. Upper elevation, some of that will be snow. Yeah, UW is decently wet. Oh, I mean, that's pushing, inch and a half through Saturday morning. Interesting. Okay, we'll keep an eye on precipitation amounts. that's interesting to me to at least see that. It's nothing, flooding. That's not what I'm seeing. Let's take a look at snow here on the UW real quick to see what the mountains might have in store. I'm guessing it's going to follow what we just looked at on the other models, but let me pull this up. No snow. Here it comes. We're on Wednesday, Thursday. You can see this is the upper reaches of Mount Baker. When it starts pushing it out here, it's lower elevation. Okay, let me take a look at what the National Weather. We're just checking to see if what I looked at earlier matches what the National Weather Service thinks. Yeah, active but no significant impacts are forecasted. Let's see. High clouds increase, overcast. Precipitation chances will begin late tomorrow morning. Best chances for seeing light rain will be areas north of Everett. That's us. And in the northern Cascades and Olympics. Snow levels will be around 6,000 feet. Okay, so here's the substantial rain chances. We just said this Wednesday night through late Wednesday through Thursday, as the low moves closer to the region. Still uncertainty about the low track, but it favors a more southerly track. That's what we just said earlier on the live. 0.5 to an inch, half an inch to an inch in the lowlands, 1 to 2 in the mountains. A little bit of breezy southerly winds possibly along the coast, but well below advisory thresholds. Well, we just saw that. If the low track's closer, then the winds could be a bit stronger. And then snow levels will lower Thursday night. Accumulating snow favors the North Cascades and the higher passes, including Stevens. But a rain-snow mix is potentially at Snoqualmie. Friday, the flow becomes more zonal. Allowing for additional systems to continue to traverse the area. Luckily, these systems look to be progressive and short-lived. Okay. No one day or one system is particularly impressive from Friday night through Monday. Friday night into Saturday looks to be the best chance for slightly heavier precipitation, as well as the latter half of Sunday. Okay. Snow levels rise again. I think we nailed everything here. At Mount Baker ski area, 36 tonight, 43 with rain. So you can see the snow levels are above the ski area. And then we've got this rain, snow, then snow Thursday night into Friday and Friday night. But again, I think some of this will be showery in nature. So we're talking, they're calling for 2 to 4 inches Friday night. And rain mixed with snow on Saturday. Yeah. So I think, Mount Baker might see a few inches at the ski area, and above that would see, 8 inches to a foot, depending on as you go up in elevation. So, okay, let me take a look at your comments here. You're asking me about the Aurora tomorrow night. Again, it looks like clouds are going to be an issue at this point. So, appreciate that, Keith, about the pictures. Yeah, Marie, that's the weather. I mean, it's just fun looking at this. If you can kind of follow me and you'll learn, you'll kind of start picking it up, what I'm doing and seeing it. And I think the more we do the lives, it'll be great. We posted about the Aurora early on. It's always such a crapshoot, to be honest, especially here. But, the clouds did us in tonight. Otherwise, this would have been epic. So, let me check. Let me put up my Aurora picture again here. Let me check the comments on Facebook. And I need to take a little drink of water here. Let me see if there's any new comments on the live stream. Thank you for the stars. Cynthia, I think we answered the question about less clouds. I don't know that we're going to have less clouds. So I hate to say that. It looks like a bunch of clouds, sadly. Really sorry about that. Make sure you like the YouTube channel, subscribe to it, and like our lives, please. If you watch it, just like it. I guess unless you hate it, then you put a thumbs down. And please share, or let people know about the Whatcom County weather on YouTube, because I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. And then, the more watch hours, even if you let it just run while you are, what does everybody like to do? Eating dinner? No, probably don't want to say that. Working a puzzle? No. I don't know. Whatever you do with your free time that you probably don't have, just let it run in the background, and then we'll get more watch hours, even if you don't listen to it all the time. and then like it, watch it, share it, subscribe, all those keywords. So if you have any comments, add those to the YouTube or to the Facebook Live. Let's see what else. Keith, yeah, pictures, like the pictures that we're looking at here. This has taken years of practice for me to get to this point, but basically the general settings, and you can do this with a phone, is just hold it steady. If you have a later iPhone, I have an 11, okay, and I was able to get pictures of the color tonight by just holding it steady, and it automatically takes a night picture, a long 3-second exposure, and you just point it north. Actually, this picture was pointed east southeast. This green is east southeast. This is more east, but it was that good tonight. It's just it was behind the clouds a lot. And then on a regular digital camera, 5,000 ISO with a 5 to 10 second exposure if you know how to shoot in manual mode. And then an f-stop somewhere in the middle, like f9, f13, f11. And you just go for it. And then you manual focus on some light that's distant, either a star or some light that's far away or something that'd pick it up. Make sure that's crisp and clear. Otherwise, you're going to have a blurry picture. So, yeah, this was fun tonight. So, let me see. Yes, you're welcome. And let me take a look at the year-to-date accumulation graph, because we always have to look at that every time we're on a live stream, right? Okay, hang on. Let me get this accumulation graph up. Let's change it to Bellingham. And our accumulation graph is, now what is this, missing? Why is that a black there dot? What does that mean? I can't remember what the diamond means. Okay. Yeah, it's missing. That's interesting. I know why today's is missing. Huh, wonder why November 8th is missing. November 8th, yeah, it is missing. Well, that's interesting. Hang on a second. I want to figure out if there was any precip on November 8th at the airport. Probably an hour that was missing. Okay, let me take November 11th. Let me go back to the 8th. 10th, 9th, 8th. Any precipitation? Okay, it doesn't look like there was any precipitation. Well, 0.04 was that before the 8th. Yep, okay. So, looks like there was no precipitation at the airport on the 8th, so that missing doesn't really matter. So we are at 24.60 for the year, 27.09. So, subtraction is at 2.49, 2.5 inches short, if my math is right. And we should make some of that up, hopefully by the end of this week. Maybe we can get another half inch knocked off of that. So that would put us around 2 inches. I don't know if we're going to catch up for the year. Sadly, though, we'll see. It would take one atmospheric river and then just some extra rain in December. Problem is December starts going drier often. I mean, it can be a wet month, but yeah. What else? Anything else to talk about tonight? I think we've hit the highlights here. I don't see any big storms at this point. Maybe a little bit of wind at times, but I think we're going to call it for tonight. Let's check the comments one more time just to make sure. And I'm checking on Facebook here mainly because I can see the other in real time on this second computer that I have. So hang on, let me just check this. But really appreciate you all joining. Thank you very much. Okay. We'll check back in. I don't know if we'll do a live tomorrow night, but at least we got something tonight. Again, thanks for subscribing, watching, liking on YouTube. Thank you for joining on Facebook. And make sure you like that, comment there, share it if you really want to. So, okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.